Welcome to Life Rhythms, Tarot, Food, and Spirit. So this is my dad's first appearance on Life Rhythms, but he was the co-anchor of the Real Deal Kitchen since we started. Now he's running away already. We have a lot going on in the Valley kitchen today. Whenever we come back to the Valley, we kind of catch up on lots of the baking projects. So we had some raisin scones made. We made a beautiful
Cookies.
well, raisin scones also, and oatmeal raisin cookies. And I can't, do we have pot holder? And then this beautiful squash bread, which we made with a butternut squash that was grown in my mom's garden. And the main event today in the savory department is Kitchari. So if you watch The Real Deal Kitchen at all, I spoke about Kitchari several times. It was really one of my staples last winter. And what I'm holding up right now is the spice mixture that I like to pre-make and have on hand for when we make Kitchari or anything that I might want a curried type of flavor to. So curry is really just a mixture of spices, the foundations of which are turmeric, cumin, coriander, and then once you branch out from there, it becomes as different as the household that you are in. You know, the proportions of all of those things and some of the other spices that you might want to consider or add to it. For the purposes of Kitchari, which Kitchari has its roots in India, and it's a very healing and nourishing, almost porridge of sorts. It's a porridge soup, and it's very easy to digest. People often use it when they're seeking to simplify their diets, undertake a day up to a couple of days on a mono diet, meaning eating one food for a day or several days. And it provides protein, a bit of fiber, and it's quite nourishing and satisfying to eat. So the proportions of Kitchari's basis are mung beans and basmati rice. Traditionally, I use yellow split mung beans and quinoa. I have just come to use quinoa over the years, and I enjoy it and find it very simple and easy on the digestive system. And many people in my work with clients can eat that. Some people like to stay away from rice and things of that nature, but everyone seems to be happy eating quinoa. So that's one of the reasons why I started using quinoa in my rendition of Kitchari. So what we've done so far is sauteed an onion, a red onion. Normally I might rather use a yellow onion, but we had a red onion in some butter, and you could do that as well in ghee, which it traditionally would be done in ghee, or coconut oil if that is your preference. And we're about to add a good 2 tablespoons of this spice mixture. So it doesn't have to be a formal measure. I don't formally measure generally when I'm making savory food, but my dad will probably formally measure it. So we'll add that to the pot, let that cook a little bit, and then we will add our mung bean and quinoa, which has soaked overnight. We did 1.5 cups about of mung bean and about 3/4 cup of quinoa, soaked it. It has turned into 3+ cups, about 4 cups total of soaked ingredient. We will add that to the pot, and then about 3 quarts of water. this will all really come into a wonderful, solid soup stew, as I described before. Really porridge. That's what I first said. I'm going to stick to porridge because that's what it feels like. And to my kitchari, to this blend, I also like to add squash. So we have roasted a beautiful red curry squash, which we brought home from the Union Square Farmers Market. And we will be adding, oh, actually we're going to use the Blue Hubbard. My mistake. We roasted a Blue Hubbard squash, and we're going to be using that. So it'll be about 2 cups or 3 cups of squash as well added to that pot. So I'm giving you this in circles here. So it's the sauteed onion, adding about 2 tablespoons of the spice. Then we will add the 3+ cups of mung bean quinoa mixture, as well as about 2 cups of roasted squash. We're using this Blue Hubbard squash. I like to use that type of squash in soups. It's very hearty and meaty, and I just love that texture. We'll add 3+ quarts of water. All of that will stew for about 30 to 45 minutes, about 45 minutes really. And I will season it. We'll season it with some salt to taste. So we're having this as a nourishing dish. If it were going to be purely as on a healing spectrum, I might not add the salt depending on what a person's concerns are at that moment. But for myself, for our family, whomever is going to be eating it in this household, it's for nourishment and pleasure. So we will be adding salt. When I serve it, I sometimes like to serve it with yogurt on top. You can add some chopped coriander to it. Once it's been warmed and you put it in your bowl for some flavor. The curry mixture that I like to keep on hand has about equal parts of turmeric, cumin, coriander, all powders. I also add some chili pepper to it, red chili pepper. In lieu of that, if you don't like it so hot or you prefer a fresh chili, you could finely dice a jalapeno chili and put that in there when you're doing the onion. Also, at the time of sauteing the onion, you could add ginger if you enjoy a ginger flavor. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't. This time we didn't. And once it's been cooking for about 45 minutes, it's ready to go. So, do we have any other questions? What are we up to now?
I put 2 cups of water. How many more do you want?
You put 2 cups or 2 quarts?
2 cups of water.
Nothing yet. Did you add the squash already?
No.
Okay, let's add the squash in there. And then we'll add 2 more full quarts to that. We have to negotiate our process here. So it's interesting in life, you know, when you're in relationship with anything, how the relationships and the dynamics are different, right? So I spend so much time with my dad, and over the last year plus, we've been like constant companions. He's been my main anchor in my healing process. And when we're in the kitchen together, it's always a negotiation, because I wish he would be a little bit more confident, because he knows what he's doing, but he likes to ask every question to the T. He likes to get it right. Whereas when I'm in the kitchen with Seth, who you've seen in a couple of videos, and you've seen in one Life Rhythms video, he's my fiance. He's not as fluid in the kitchen as my dad, but he's just more relaxed. It's like, you know, okay, what are we doing next? So different dynamics, different people, different relationships. It's all such a life journey and a rhythm. So to be sensitive to those rhythms and not just try to make a video, which I just caught myself just trying to make a video. And I'm like, wait, I'm here with my dad, and he likes to have certain information. So in the spirit of the real deal carrying over to life rhythms, which is really the same because it's about rhythm, and when we're in rhythm with something, it means we're being sensitive to it. And when we're out of rhythm with it, we're probably not being sensitive to our situation. So we've had a lot going on here. This soup is the culmination of a long morning in the kitchen. And after we get this going, it's going to be easing down, winding down time. And then already at 1 o'clock, we're looking to the end of our day, which I rather enjoy. So is my dad. He's been up since 5:30. I slept in till 7 today. So this is our first report together on life rhythms, and to be continued. And thank you all so much for tuning in, whether you're tuning in for the tarot or the continuation of our food journey, or just in general in spirit or inspiration. Thank you, and we will see you again very soon. Until then, be well.